so cool. Check this out. There's clouds in the valley over here. All right, here we go. Okay, so to make your Stovejack, it's real simple. This turned out really janky looking, but I'm not quite done setting it up. A little more, okay? You're a good girl. You're such a good girl. Just run our Saturday with a little bit of ham. Hey, good sweetie.
You're free. Yeah. You can't be restricted and also be free. It's literally not possible. So you could live a tortured life where you make a good living, but you're not doing what you could have done, you know, and then all of a sudden one day you're 60 and you're looking back in your life and you're like, shit.
Yeah.
That could happen. It could happen to any one of us. It could happen to me. It could happen to anyone, man. You get stuck. And sometimes you can't do anything about being stuck. You just gotta do what you gotta do in the moment and make a plan and bide your time and figure out a way to do what you truly passionate about. People have obligations, they have families, they have bills, they have people to take care of that they love. I understand that. You gotta do what you gotta do. But I knew that for you, there was a way out. And the way out was podcasting and stand up. And I knew that. And I remember talking to you on the phone that day. I remember saying, I gotta say this. I have to say this. He's gotta get out. You gotta get out. Why are we deciding that people can't just talk about things? I'm not an expert. I shouldn't be considered an expert. If you think that I should be able to shoot the shit with my friends like I would in private, but let you listen, you don't have to listen. Just shit that you have to be really careful in not even if you're upset at me, you don't. Yep. Syphilis. Died of syphilis.
Gringo bandito. You wanna go outside and go potty? Let's go. Oh boy, let's go outside. Oh cool, check this out. There's clouds in the valley over here. Very cool. Let's go on the other side and look and see what's over there. Yeah, way over there. All that is all clouds right in there. That's so cool. And then looking that way, all clouds right there. So pretty much socked in with clouds all over the place. Let's walk over here and go see what Sierra's up to. Pumpkin, what you doing, baby girl? So this is kind of our morning. We'll wake up before the sun comes over the ridge there. I'll take Sierra for a little walk, and we'll go back and make some breakfast. And so it's always a pretty chill start to the day. And there's no one out here, which is great. You never hear any noises. We got one neighbor that lives kind of down over in that area over there, and every once in a while I hear him drive out and go to the main road, but I never see him. The only thing I have heard is they've been doing a little bit of road work over here, because when it rains real bad, the road that comes down from the top of the ridge up there can get kind of gnarly. So there's some tractors down over in there, and they're using to work on the road. But man, this is cool looking with all this. Wish I had my drone charged up. I'd go get it up in the air, but I don't have that right now. All right, let's go this way. Come here. So I'm thinking of building maybe a storage shed here, or putting a shipping container right in that spot, and grabbing the trailer and pulling it out. I think it's another location. And I've made kind of like a round circle drive here. There's a bunch of debris right here, which I need to burn up, but kind of made it to where there's a big circle here around this little tree, this pinyon pine. And that way it's like, you pull up in here, there's a nice rental truck. Pull up in here, and then you can kind of like circle around like that and then go out that way if you feel like it. So let's get the solar readjusted and get ready for the sun, which should be creeping up over the ridge here shortly. All right, so just to explain what I've got here, I've got two panels that's powering the EB150 inside, and then I've got this panel right here, and they're all 100 watt panels, but that one 100 watt panel powers the deep cycle batteries out here. And right now we don't have much battery power at all, so I actually have very little, which is fine. I'm gonna replace those batteries probably with something a little bit better. Oh, this is cool. All the clouds are coming up. Dang, I wish I had my drone done. Let's go check this out. See how it's all moving. All right, let's go inside and cook breakfast for Sierra. We're gonna make Sierra some eggs today. What you doing, baby pumpkin? You want some eggs this morning for breakfast? Let's go. Okay, so can you come up? I'll get you some water, okay? Come on, sweetie. Come on. Oh, what are you doing, little baby? I really like how this looks. It looks like an old Forest Service trail. Just kind of very faintly see the tire tracks that come through here, which is pretty awesome. So there's the monsoon that just came through. The big front just went overhead. And rained here pretty good for probably, I don't know, I'd say like 3 hours, pretty good. And so just came out here to check and see how damp this area gets. This area where I cut out the road for truck camping. And this is a little truck camping site that I made. And I noticed all the water kind of drains down in here, which, you know, I kind of anticipated, but it's good to see how the patterns are. And I can figure out a way to divert it. If only I want to, I can divert it out here and kind of make this more of a pad. It'd be really cool to build something over here because I really like all these rocks. It's fun to sit here and hang out, and I got a little fire pit right here, and a little area there where I can do the rock crawling. And so it's really nice to come over here, and it's kind of a secluded spot. So we'll see. And then that little lookout point over here. If you recall, when I got the ranch first, when I first started cutting that road, here's all the debris from that, from the lower portion. So all that stuff, and I gotta burn all that. Probably process some of it up and see if I can't make some cool, like outdoor living spaces with it or something. But I really like the view from over here. This is looking towards the west, and it's just really nice and expansive. You kind of look out, this is all state land over here. And so you look out over those nice trees, and there's some cool ridges back in there I want to go hike up to. But real nice and peaceful out here. You don't hear people, which is real nice, especially this day and age. Man, it just looks so cool back in here. It's all green, and the rocks are kind of cool looking with all the water on them, and then all the nice lichen. And there's some pretty big boulders. I mean, this one's probably about 5 feet tall. And then I've got some cool moss that grows back in here as well. So some pretty neat stuff here on the property. It's fun to go with like the different terrain, because you know, back over where the camper is, it's like real hard pack, and it's on a ridge, and so there's not any rocks like this. You know, it's all just flat little rocks that have been pounded down over the years. And you come over here and you got like these you know, these big volcanic rocks that are really awesome, and there's some big ones up over there as well. And then this like cascades down, so it slopes down like this, which is a really nice feature to have. It would be fun to build something like down in here, so be in the trees, you know, really in the trees. And I want to do a minimal style build where I put like pylons in the ground and then raise everything up off so I don't disturb the ground. But it'd be cool to have, like, you know, this area right here looking back into like a backyard area. That'd be really awesome. And it's real nice and quiet over here. You know, you just don't, like I said, you don't hear anybody. It's all state land just right there. All right, this is my kind of like DIY, very temporary stove area that I'm doing. What I want to do is I want to kind of remodel this a little bit, but I don't have time before the storms arrive and the cold temperatures hit. So what I did was I picked up a coated welding cloth. And so what this is basically fiberglass that's been woven together. And what they do is they coat it, and that way the fiberglass doesn't get all messy and all over you. And put these grommets in and everything. I picked them up. This was like 35 bucks, I think, at the hardware store. And I got it actually at a welding supply hardware store. But use this, and what this does, this basically creates like a heat shield all around here. And so you also see heat shields with like those metal ones. This is one that's more flexible. It's, you know, it's a fabric one. But the temperature rating on this is up to 1,000 degrees. The stove box doesn't get over 800, so we're in good shape. And what I've got for the stove is I took out a pane of glass here, and so one of the panes is what was removed, and I'm gonna make the stove pipe go out here and then go straight up and then over, so that way we kind of miss the trees out here. I forgot that we're kind of backed up to trees. So I'm gonna set the stove in here right now. I want to show you kind of how this is gonna look. And we may take the stones that are down there, we may take them and remove them, we may not, we'll see. Basically got it like this, and I'm gonna have it to where this comes up to the edge like this, and then we'll have it come around a little bit. That way it's nice and safe. But let me grab the stovepipe here. So with the stovepipe, I am using just low grade HVAC connectors. I've got some galvanized steel ones coming, but they won't be arriving until Monday, and Monday night is when the storm is going to hit. So I wanted to go ahead and make this, and then I can switch those out when the storm hits. But essentially, you know, you've got your stovepipe that comes in here like this, and then it's going to go right out the window right there. Okay, so essentially what we have here is we have welding cloth, temperature 8,000 degrees. By the time the heat gets up here, it's going to be well under 800. It'll probably be more like 400, 300, because stovepipes don't get that hot. I mean, they get hot, but not like the stove box. And so the welding cloth there, just cut like a U-shape hole in there that goes out, and then you just pop it out, and that creates like the rain barrier for the outside. And then what I want to do for the or for the inside, and then for the outside there, I want to take another welding cloth, tuck it up underneath here, and then cut a larger upside down U to give it a little bit more waterproofing out there, then have it shed properly, then have that go out that way. That way we'll have total waterproofing, and we'll have the good the good heat protection around here. Another thing I want to do is I want to take a little bit of welding cloth and put it right there, so that way I mean, this is a pretty good distance between the wall and the stovepipe, but I still want to put that there just in case. And then the front here, we're in good shape. Let me pull this back here. I'm gonna put this down. This is the Wild Wild West stove. So one I was using last year inside the teepee tent. All of the stovepipe stuff is in here. I'm just gonna pull this out. We've got plenty of pieces to make it to where we can go up above the top of the camper. Because what you want to do whenever you're using a stove like this, you always want to make sure your stovepipe goes to like above the highest, like 12 inches above the highest portion of your camper. So like or a cabin. So my camper is like, you know, this, and then it goes up. Well, I want to make sure I clear this top part. If you don't, you get downdraft or backdraft into your structure. You don't want that. That's really bad. Okay, so I'm gonna try to get in here, see if I can weasel my way in here. Not knocking too much stuff over. Alright, here we go. Okay, so to make your Stovejack, it's real simple. You know, you just come in here, and essentially what you want to do is you just want to make a U that goes down like this so you can pop this through here. So that's what we're going to cut in. And it's okay if you make it big. I mean, you're going to have a little bit of draft coming in here, but you'll also have kind of a flap on the outside that goes over the Stovejack when it protrudes through, and that's going to help with making it, you know, not have wind come through. But you'll still have a little bit. It's not going to be totally airtight. So let's see here. All right. So essentially, all I did was just create a U, like I was talking about. That we can just punch this through right here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this out, push it through, and then put it back in. And we're good. All right, let's go outside and I'll show you how that works. All right, so this is no different than the Stovejack that I have that's on my teepee tent. And so this is the same style. I've also used one like this that I put on the 3-season tent that I made into a 4-season, or not a 4-season tent really, but it was just more of just a wood stove tent. That was the first time I ever tried doing one. So I've used that, and then also I used a similar one like that last year from Lux Hiking Gear, if you recall, or no, it wasn't last year, it was 2 years ago when I had the drop-down awning room with the wood stove in it. This is exactly like that. So what this does, this basically sheds the rain, and then I'm going to take another piece of this and tuck it up in the interior here. If you can see my lovely duct taping, tuck it up in the interior here, then have a bigger one that comes over here that's going to be more arched like this, and that way it really covers this whole area. And I'm going to readjust this. I want to have this come out probably a little bit more this way and then go straight up, and I'm going to have to trim back these trees up here and make sure that that's not in the way, because I don't want anything catching on fire. But I've got some stuff. I've got these things right here. I can put wood in that and then have it go up and hold the Stovejack into place. And you always want to make sure it's about a foot above that. So I want to have it sticking out a little bit and a foot above, and then cut back these branches. We'll be in good shape. All right, so this turned out really janky looking, but I'm not quite done setting it up. I want to secure this a little bit more and clamp this down, and then put a piece of welding cloth under so to hold it into place, kind of like that bracket right there. But overall, the mission's accomplished. I mean, I've been able to accomplish what I wanted to here. I've got the larger flap on the outside here, so this creates a little bit more of a rain cover or snow cover when the snow starts coming in. And there's plenty of heat that will be coming out here, so this will stay nice and dry, and so it'll just shed it, you know, any snow or rain that comes down. And I did put some duct tape out here. This is just temporary because I'm only doing this for about a week. I've got another stove coming from Kaneko, and so I'm gonna do something different when that one comes. But this is just for the meantime, just for the storm that's coming tomorrow. And it's supposed to be crazy high winds too. The winds are supposed to be like up in 55 miles an hour. So I don't think I'm gonna go into the tent. I'm just gonna hang out in here inside the camper and work with the stove and just get myself familiar with it. But going back to the stovepipe here, let me show you what I did up top. We're gonna hop on these barrels here, and I'm gonna get up real quick. Standing on top of a barrel here. So I was able to tie this down and then drive some nails in to secure this beam. This beam's not going anywhere. It's pretty solid. And up here, what I'm going to do is put this over the top of it and just hold it down a little bit with a little bit of weight. But this is a really solid beam. This is Brazilian red oak, and so it's real heavy. And then this is the bracket that I put on here and then clamped it on with some welding cloth. So it works real well. These are 18-inch sections of of pipe. And so this is roughly about right here. That's about level with the roof. And so there's about probably 24 inches, like 2 feet of pipe that goes up. And then that's a spark arrestor. It's just a built-in spark arrestor. You can see it's a little gunked up. That was from one night of, or actually, let's see, is that one night of usage? Yeah, that's one night of usage. But this is gonna work fine. I just wanna make sure it sheds the moisture. And that's basically what it accomplishes. And also get it away from the camper here and get it up. And then I trim back all these branches over here, kind of cut back some branches that might be in the way. And there's no really danger of this like falling down on here and just lighten everything up, especially when it's gonna be raining and snowing. So we'll be in good shape as far as that with like moisture helping us out. So let's hop inside real quick. I want to show you what it looks like. What are you doing over there, you little stinker? Okay, so went ahead and stacked up some of the pavement bricks around here, and these are just straight up just rock. They don't have anything on them or anything like that, so I can use these for kind of just to reflect the heat and also retain the heat. And then the welding cloth is behind it. This welding cloth is rated at 1,000 degrees, and so we're going to be plenty fine. I put down some stone here. You saw that in the last, or a couple frames ago. But I put down this stone here, and that's just basically, I wanted a flat surface so that if any ambers fall out of there, it goes right there, and then I can easily vacuum them up when they dry, or when they cool off. And then the stove itself, I mean, everything's going fine with this. Ran it a little bit this morning. Ran it all night last night on low, and kept it plenty warm in here, which was really nice. So I've got that footage coming up next. And then here's the Eco fan. A lot of people have asked about this. This is a fan that actually has a thermo generator in here. And so when this warms up, this is designed to where the top part's going to be a lot cooler than the bottom portion of this. So the bottom portion sucks up the heat from the stove, comes up to here, and the temperature differential creates that, makes this this generator actually generate power, and it turns this little fan. So essentially what it is when the stove gets warm enough, this will turn on and start pushing air around, and then when the stove gets cold, it eventually just goes off, which is real nice. Back over to here, just put down some more of those pavement stones and the flat ones, and then ran the stove pipe up out here. And it's worked fine last night. And like I said, we got that footage coming up. And then over here, I'll keep my trash can, but I pull it out when I'm running the stove because I don't want to heat up the trash. It make it kind of smell funny in here. Then I put a little cover over the area where I pulled back for where there was water damage. But let's go ahead and check out that footage now. And I'm really excited for the winter camping season to be here because I've got the tent with me here, and I'm going to set it up here on the property, but probably not going to do it until the storm passes. But we're supposed to have like temperatures down in the 20s all night, all throughout the week, and so we'll probably do one night over there. But I definitely want to get familiar with, you know, running the stove in here and just making sure that I've got it all dialed in for winter. You want to go with me? Let's go play. Come on, buddy. Right up to me, Franklin.